example with the double egg, right? You find a brand new set of dog shoes.
Dog shoes, yeah.
Now chances are they weren't right in one pot, or were they?
They were in their little bag.
Oh, they were in a bag.
Brand new.
Oh, so they couldn't be apart from each other.
No, but they were in with all the stuff. They had little garage sale 50-cent tags on it.
But now go through this. Suppose it wasn't in a bag with a tag on it. Suppose you found one of the dog shoes, right? And then you walk down the road a little bit further. Before you found the other one, you might think to yourself, "Oh, somebody's running their dog out here." And the shoe blew off. They didn't notice it. They got home. The poor dog's foot's cold. And then in the time you're processing that, you come upon the other one. At that point, you begin to think, well, wait a minute, this isn't really random. Now there's two of them. What's the chance of two of them falling off? Then you start looking for the other two. So it goes from being what could be considered an unusual or rare event or something that's an outlier to something that's completely guaranteed almost, likelihood-wise, and explainable. The fact that it's in a bag with a tag on it makes it even more explainable. Especially if somebody's in a hurry trying to get something done. They threw the stuff in the truck quickly and then drove away without fastening it down.
My dog was not impressed.
Yeah.
I had to put him on it just, you know.
Yeah.
Like all
I know, they start walking like that. But it's amazing how these little stories help us understand the news better. The news is extraordinarily knee-jerk, right? We know that. We know that. We love knee-jerk reactions. I think I told you guys about the GMO labeling. I just saw, I finally opened it up and looked at it. I knew there was something wrong with it as soon as I saw the picture without looking at the numbers on it. I'm like, it's trying to paint a picture. And I looked at it more deeply and I'm like, yep, they sure are trying to paint a picture with that. But this class, I mean, we can teach you formulas all day long. I don't really care so much for that. I'd like you to understand why formulas work, I do. But rather than have you memorize a bunch and regurgitate them back, I want you to be able to critically think about those kinds of events. When something comes across your desk, do you believe it or do you not? Do you know which questions to ask if you should believe it, or if you shouldn't? So that's why I use real estate as an example today, and then we'll get into some Gallup polls, and then we'll just start looking at those things and being able to, what can we take from them? Yeah, man, go ahead.
So what about, instead of the phrase, how random, how lucky? Because, like, for example, a 5 black streak, we know the odds are really small, but they exist. We're the ones that happen to have gotten it. There was some other element involved.
You have a job. You have to infiltrate the school systems, middle schools of America. It teaches kids to start saying how lucky instead of how random. Yeah, I don't know where this how random thing came from. It's like, you've noticed it, correct?
Oh my God,
it's so random. Right, so we have to interpret the language and somehow teach people what luck is versus randomness. Or what probability is, right? How improbable versus how random, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing. You know, or under a given null assumption, how improbable. I mean, it doesn't quite have the ring of how random. But I mean, that's what you have to do, though. You have to. It's kind of like using the word irony versus coincidence. You know, and that's a non-mathematical one. But has that ever driven you guys insane? When ironic. Actually, it's kind of coincidental. When Alanis Morissette wrote that song, which was wonderful back in the '90s, I'm like, shouldn't be called ironic. It should be called coincidence. But I mean, you know, it's one of those things. Like, it's one of those things that the term is so important. But because we devalue the term, not intentionally, I mean, how random is a fun thing to say. But then we get this untrue vision of what the word random actually means. So we have to go infiltrate and kind of change the vernacular, which we're not going to do, right? So the best thing we can do is teach each other, like David did that worked up there with the bowling. That's the best thing you can do. And don't do it in like a wise-ass way, obviously, just like you did. Not you in a wise way. Just like you did, just explain it to them. Explain them how, here's another way of looking at it. And hopefully you've learned this in 243. It's not black and white. There's always a shade of gray. There's always a shade of probability, 1, 0 between those two somewhere. You're learning how to measure that. That's the whole point of this class and 243, to kind of set the stage for that. So I wish there was an easier answer like, yes, I like that. And maybe we're stuck with the vernacular, and it's up to us to be able to interpret the vernacular correctly. Thank you. All right. We okay? Was this okay? How many were there this week?
3.
There were 3. How many did all 3 of them? Anybody do all 3 of them?
Attempt.
That's okay. And that's the beautiful thing is you don't have to do all of them for submission. You can download them all, right? You can download every single one of them. You can attempt them all, and if you decide you don't want to do 1 or 2 of them, you don't have to. I'm going to have more than one offered each day. We're going to do 1 in class today, which will count towards the 10. So you can write this one in for one of the ones you didn't get to submit today. That's totally fine. I'm also going to put up, as soon as I can, which might take till Saturday, I'm going to have video solutions for each of the quizzes. Linked. Remember I did that in 243 back in the day with you guys. I'm going to have little video solutions linked after them. So if you, in case you downloaded it but didn't want to submit it, you can then watch the video solution and be like, oh, okay. I actually was on the right track, but I second-guessed myself, so I didn't turn it in. So that'll help too. I want you to learn. I mean, the points I have to give you because I have to give you a grade. It's more important for you to understand like the context and how you do this stuff. Grab one of these and hand them on around. This is just one more quiz. I'm working on your exam right now. I'm in the process of putting it together. It's not due till week 5. You got plenty of time. But I like getting it uploaded weeks in advance so that you can find the time to work on it. And
Start calling you a bastard.
sure, absolutely. My ears burn quite a bit that time of year, especially the night before. No, I want you to have the time, and it's going to have only a couple topics on it, most likely, maybe 1 or 2, because I posted so early. I'd rather err on the side of not having too many topics than having too few. I'd rather have too few and have you master those topics and kick ass on that assessment, because we can always put the other topics on the last assessment, the last exam in week 11. Not that we're gonna have 3 times as many, but just we can spread it out and make it more overarching. What's nice about 244, what's so nice about 244 is you get extras, excellent. What's so nice about 244 is there's only, thank you, a couple main ideas that keep getting reiterated and reviewed and gone over and gone over and gone over again. So it's nice that we have that kind of ability to revisit something over and over again. All right. So, let us go through, I think I have, let's see if this works on the board. Ish, not really. We'll have to draw the number line. So, we were learning things called confidence intervals last time.